Good day, my name is Mark Malore. I'm an attorney here in Riverside, California. Got a number of contractors and homeowners in 29 Palms, California that are dealing with mechanics lien issues. So I thought it helpful to put together this quick video on a couple of issues that I like to go over during my consultations that I think are important. The first issue is we want to take a look at what type of project we have. Is it a commercial or residential project? The next question we need to ask is, are we in direct contractual privity with the owner of the property, whether it's a home or a commercial project? So let's talk about home or commercial. If it's a home or residence, you as a contractor need to comply with what we call the work of home improvement laws under the Business and Professions Code. You have to make sure your contract complies with those. If you don't comply with those, there are some severe penalties statutorily for failure to comply or being able to enforce the contract at all. Those are some of the arguments that the owner of the project can make. If you're an owner of a property and you're dealing with that, you want to make sure that the contractor you're dealing with has a proper contract and is following the law with respect to the number of disclosures that they have to give you under the work of home improvement legislation. The second thing we ask is, are you in direct contractual privity with the owner? If you are, great. You don't have to send by certified mail return receipt requested a 20-day preliminary notice. If not, and you are a material man or subcontractor to the general on a project, whether it's a home or commercial project, you have to send by certified mail return receipt requested to the owner of the property, general contractor on the property, and a lender, if any, on the property, something called a 20-day preliminary notice. Now, you want to make sure you keep those certified mail return receipt cards in your file in case you have to file a lawsuit later on. Hopefully not. But if you do, you've got those in your file to use to help your attorney out for those purposes. Assuming that you filed the 20-day preliminary notice within 20 days of your first assembly on the project, then you can recover all the costs that you have. The 20-day preliminary notice is only valid for mechanics lien purposes 20 days prior to the time you mailed it out. So you want to make sure that you send it out within the 20 days after you first assemble on the project, so it covers all your work and there's no problem in recovering that in a mechanics lien situation. Now, assuming you filed your 20-day preliminary notice or you're in direct contractual privity with the owner, then we have to do what's called recording the mechanics lien. Once a mechanics lien is recorded with the county recorder's office, you have to do that within 90 days of your last work on the project or leaving the project. If you don't do it within 90 days of leaving the project or your last work on the project, then the mechanics lien is invalid and can be expunged from the record. But that's not the last hurdle. So if you're a homeowner facing a mechanics lien that's been recorded on your property, don't worry just yet. We need to make sure that that hurdle was overcome, the 20-day preliminary hurdle was overcome, the contractual hurdle was overcome. The next hurdle that has to be overcome as a contractor, you need to make sure that you don't waive your mechanics lien rights, but you file a lawsuit to foreclose on that mechanics lien. I can't tell you how many contractor clients I have that think just recording the mechanics lien protects them, and they let the 90-day period that follows the recording date fall by the wayside. They come to me long after that, and I can't enforce the mechanics lien at that point because you waive your rights to that mechanics lien if you don't file the action to foreclose within 90 days of the recording date. So make sure you're doing that if you want to enforce your mechanics lien. For homeowners, I would say wait to see if your contractor files a lawsuit within that period of time. Otherwise, the mechanics lien goes away. Those are some of the issues in a broad brushstroke basis I wanted to go over with you. If you have any particular facts or circumstances that you think are important you want to talk to me about, feel free to call my office and make a consultation. I'd be happy to talk to you about those.